So watch me do this full detailed but subtle glam on my birthday client. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time of seeing my video, this is Priceless Clean Makeover, your favorite beautician. And if this is what you would like to watch, please stick around to the end and do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Alright, so first thing first, you have to carve the brows and then clean the face thoroughly. I am doing this with my micellar water. After cleaning, I will have to moisturize the face using my hydrating spray. Once that is done, I will allow it to dry. At this point, I clean my hands and then use my fingers to tap the hydrating spray into the skin. That is vital because it will help the skin to be much more hydrated. Once that is done, next thing I'll be doing is to apply my moisturizer. For that, I'm using my Sod Cream moisturizer to moisturize the face, and I will do that all over the face, especially on the under eye. Once that is dry, I apply my sweat block on the T-zone area. This is Adventure Sweat Block, and then once that is done, I will also apply my Stay Matte primer. This is a Rimmel Stay Matte primer, a mattifying primer at that. So I will have to mattify the skin. Primer is very essential when doing a skin prep because it will serve as a base for your makeup. So after the skin prep, I'll move over to foundation application. For that, I'll be mixing two shades of my foundation, Avour and V Beauty. Avour number 35 and V Beauty Chestnut. I mix the two together and then use a flat brush to spread it on the face first. So during foundation application, it is important that you match this person's skin tone to get the exact shade, so that you don't have to do the face Fanta and the leg cook, if you know what I mean. So then I will be blending it with my beauty sponge. You have to make sure that you soak your beauty sponge and then squeeze out water to make the beauty sponge very soft, to be able to get the consistency you want in blending. Blending is very much important. So this is a very soft glam, like I said, but it is going to be detailed. So you blend the foundation into the skin, and then if you know you did not prep the neck area, make sure you don't blend onto the neck area too, so that it doesn't crease. So next thing I'll be doing is to highlight the face using my Spotless Pro Concealer. I'll be applying two shades lighter Pro Concealers, 5 highlighted areas, which are the jaw, cupid bow, the bridge of the nose, forehead and the under eye. So I will apply them there, and then at the outer corner of the eyelid, and make sure to blend evenly. So when you are blending it with your beauty sponge, you make sure to blend light-handedly. You don't have to be so serious with the blending or blend too deep that the product you are blending will not be seen anymore, or you blend it into this too deep into the skin that you have to pull the skin at some point. You have to blend light-handedly like I have just done. So once that is done, next thing I'll be doing is to use my Avour 33 two shade darker foundation to do her contour. For the cheek contour, I am blending it in from the chin bone up to the forehead, upwards, not downward. That's how to do this cheek contouring. So if you are blending it, you blend it upward and not downward, and below the chin bone, sorry, that's where to blend. And then look at what I am doing and you understand how contour works. Then I will also tap the contour on the forehead and then blend the other side of the cheek. That's how to run a contour. If you are doing contour, the same thing you do on the cheek is the same thing you do on the nose, and the same shade. So for my contour, I am using 2 shades darker. Some people like to use 3 shades darker, but I like to use 2 shades darker foundation or concealer for my contouring. Then after that is done, next thing I'll be doing is apply my blush. For the blush, I'll be using my lip stain, Avour lip stain 51. Is a red Avour lip stain. I will apply it on the chin bone and then blend it in seamlessly. This is how to do a cream blush, and it will blend in. So you see it is falling on the contour I did, and that is where it is supposed to be, on the chin bone. You do it, remember, contour, you have to contour below the chin bone, and then on the tip of the nose I'll add a little bit, and then do the same thing on the other side of the face. You tap the blush and you blend in with your beauty sponge. You blend upwards, blend in seamlessly. Just look at the way it is rhyming. So once that is done, I move over to my nose contour. For the nose contour, I'm still using the same shade of foundation I use for my cheek contour, because contour is contour. What you did on the cheek is the same thing you do on the nose contour. So for the nose contouring, I have to use my flat blush to sculpt the nose, because the nose must stand. And after that, I will blend it with my beauty sponge. And then here I am using the same lighter shade of concealer I used to re-highlight the under eye to make it pop out to avoid grazing. And after blending that in, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to set with my Bicham powder palette. This powder palette is so yummy. I got it new before I use Avour powder palette, but I'm so in love with my Bicham. So for the under eye, I'm going to be using this Bicham. The same shade of concealer I use is the same powder shade I'm going to use, nothing more, nothing less, to set the under eye first. The whole areas I highlighted, as a matter of fact, I am going to set them with the same shade of powder that matches the concealer I use for the highlight. Then after highlighting, after setting, I will also set the rest of the face and then spray the face to reduce powder effect, and then move over to baking properly. So this is me blending it in with my powder brush and setting the rest of the face. After that, I will also use the same contour shades to contour the contour areas alongside the nose contour. This is me blending in the contour areas with the same contour shade. So it is vital that you set and preset and bake accordingly, using the same shades that matches the skin. So you see the way the skin is popping out already, no harsh line, no demarcation. That is how you are expected to blend in your makeup as a pro. So after blending that in, I am going to be setting the nose contour at the same time, and after that I spray, like I said, using my hydrating spray to fix the makeup so that the powder effect will be reduced. Next thing I do is to set properly using my Avour 24 setting powder and my Sacha Buttercup. I am mixing the two to set the highlighted areas properly. So I'll set and make sure that the makeup is not about to crease. Everything rhymes in seamlessly. So you make sure to set properly and not to leave any harsh line or powdery effect. So just watch as I am doing it here. So if you notice, you will see that I did not use my beauty sponge to do this setting. Rather, I use my round puff foam to do it. That way it will be able to be light. You do it lightly. So this is me doing my reverse contour, lifting the cheek, and then doing the lifting the nose contour as well, because like I said, the nose must stand. That's it. So after that, next thing I'll be doing is buffing some powders on the face to reduce the setting powder effect. And after that is done, I will move over to eyeshadow application. For that, I'll be applying my Benyo White eyeshadow primer on the eyelid, blend that in, and then use my Gorgeous Me eyeshadow to do the eyeshadow look. For the eyeshadow, I have just used the soft brown to cut the crease and then blend it around the eyelid, and then use a little bit of darker shade, that should be black, yeah, to tap on the outer lid. And after blending that in, I will use a nude shade to complete the transition eye look that I did, because she wanted something simple to fit her pink dress that she's wearing, and that is exactly what I am going to be giving to her. So just watch as I am blending this eyeshadow. For eyeshadow application, the main thing there is to focus on your blending. Make sure you blend very well, because a good blending is the best way to achieving a flawless eyeshadow application. So using your medium brush or blending brushes, you go by tapping. You don't scratch an eyeshadow, you tap in the eyeshadow so as not to crease or leave harsh lines all over. And the main thing is to make sure that no demarcation is left in between the eyeshadow. Even if it's cut crease, even if it's transition, no matter the eye look you are creating, you have to blend the eyeshadow in very well so that onlookers will not see any demarcation even when it should be there, but people will not see it. So for this transition eye look that I'm creating, I am using a dark shade that should be black and then a nude powder to create this soft transition eye look for my client, because that is what she wanted, a very something nude, something not too nude, and that is what I am giving to her. So you see the way I am tapping it in, I am not scratching, I am tapping. So if you adapt to tapping method when applying your eyeshadow, you'll be doing yourself a whole lot of good, because your eyeshadow will end up popping out and giving you exactly what you wanted. So right here I am using my contour brush to contour the nose again and to remove harsh line in between the eyelid. So I did my eyeshadow application before my brows. Like I always say, no makeup step is based on stone, is cast on stone, sorry. You have to do what works for you. And on today's makeup, I did my eye look first before my brows. As long as you know what you are doing, anyone you chose to do first. Some people do baking before setting, some people do set before baking. Just do what works for you. Some people do contouring before blush, while some people choose not to contour at all and move over to blush. So next thing I'm going to be doing is to apply my brows. Brow application is necessary. I use my spoolie brush to arrange the brows with a little bit of my hair wash. I use Echo's hair wash because I couldn't find my brow tamer, and then after that I use a setting powder to tame the creasing that may come out from the hair wash I used. And after that I will outline the brows using my flat brush and then fill the brows lightly and to make it appear more natural. After that I use the same highlights I use, the same pro concealer I use in highlighting the face, I use it to highlight the brows, that's to conceal the brows. And then once that is done, I will blend that in very well and then remove harsh line in between. And then after that I will fill her waterline using my gel liner and then apply my mascara. This mascara will add volume to her natural lash and then make it pop. For that you have to apply the mascara on the both upper eyelid and the lower eyelid to make the eye pop very well. This will prepare your eyelashes for the false lashes you are about to face. Next thing I'll be doing is to use my black Karite gel liner to outline the lid. I do this often whenever I don't want to use a normal lip stain. I will just simply outline the lip using my brown or black gel liner, and this time around is not a difference. I am using the same mixture I use for my brows actually to outline the lip. I do the same thing on the upper and lower lip. I outline them properly and well sculpted, and then after that I will blend that in and apply a thin layer of highlighter pro concealer to highlight the lip. So after I did that, she didn't really like the outcome of the lip and she asked me to add some pink, and then I added a pink lip stain from my Avour collection, and she now actually liked the way it is looking. I have to blend that in. Next thing I do is to apply my blush and make sure the cheek blushed very well. That will add warmth to the face properly, and you can see the way it is looking already. Then after the blush, I will be puffing off powder on the face and at the same time dusting off the excess setting powder on the face. This is what we call finishing in makeup artistry, and while this is done, I will be using my powder brush to puff up powders on the face, and then use a medium brush to go areas that my powder brush cannot go. So those areas the big brush cannot go, I'll use my medium brush to blend those areas. So finishing is very essential in makeup because it will determine the end result of the whole look you are creating. And so after that, I will spray evenly on the face generously for the whole makeup to fit and sink in. And after that, I will be fixing her lash. My lash is from Chair Lashes, and then I will bond the lashes and then glue it on her natural lash. I do the same thing on the other eye, and the look is finally given. So I will simply adjust the lashes and make sure it is firmly holding, and then I will apply my lip gloss on the lip, and that will make the lip pop out more. As you can see, it's giving succulent lips at that. So I'll be using my Candid Glow by Yanga Beauty to add my glow to the face. I will glow the highlighted areas, that's the chin bone, the jaw, cupid bow, the bridge of the nose, and the forehead. I will apply the glow on those areas to make the face pop out even more, and then I'll blend in very well. After that, I will spray and then face the makeup completely. So if you have watched up to this point, I hope you learned one or two. Thank you for stopping by. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, give this video a thumbs up, and also hit the notification bell so that this video will get to others. So I just spray the face and complete the look. Finally, I will let this sink, let it dry, let the makeup absorb, and then voila, this is the final look, guys. How did I do? You like the look? How do you see the soft glam? You like? She loved it. Exactly, very natural and glowy. What she wanted is what I gave to her, and this is the birthday girl. Hi guys, thank you for watching. I hope you see you in my other video. Bye guys, I love you. This is Priceless Clean Makeover. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and see you on my next video. Bye, I love you.